Hello, platform, show, story.
It's okay, take it again.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome. I'm Ryan. It's a show.
I'm also Kevin.
Story.
Platform.
It's a room where you come in.
We
take
here.
your hat.
We eat
You sit on the floor.
We eat your worries away.
We eat your worries away, nibbling softly like the fish that eat the skin off your feet.
Come into our home.
Welcome. How are you today, Kevin?
All right. How are you?
I'm good. You have an eyelash on your cheek.
That's so romantic. Why did you kiss me just now?
Make a wish. You didn't get off my... You gotta blow harder. Nice. What'd you wish for?
I wish that you would have a wonderful and restful rest of your day.
Well, now it won't come true because you told me. I'm doing great.
Why you gotta do this? I try to be genuine and you're like, fuck you.
Everybody knows that if you say what you wish for, it won't come true.
Well, why'd you ask?
Because I wanted to trick you. So that you would feel bad, so that I could have the upper hand, so that I could gain status in this social interaction that we have, and I could feel better about myself, and I could finally get some sleep. Because I'm better than at least one person in the world. This is all normal, right?
You don't mean that, do you?
No.
Okay, good.
Of course not.
Good.
Yeah, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Do you do any backflips lately?
No, let me try one, though.
Okay, here he goes.
It's gonna look so cool.
Yeah, bend your knees. Be sure to bend your knees. Here he goes for the flip. He landed perfectly. But wait. He landed too perfectly? The walls fall down. We're in Paris?
Yeah.
It's the Olympics? You just won the silver for Czechoslovakia?
I'm from Czechoslovakia?
Yeah.
Why am I not from Canada?
I don't know. Everything's different about the situation now. You look up, you're blonde. You're also looking in the mirror. You're not at the Olympics, you're in the bathroom.
I'm in the bathroom.
You changed your hair. Why?
That's a good idea. I should go blonde.
You should go blonde. You could rock it.
Yeah, could I? Or would I
Frosted
look...
tips, Guy Fieri.
Frosted tips.
Frosted tips, Guy Fieri. Frosted flakes.
Frosted tips.
You could frost your flakes.
Vanilla ice.
Vanilla ice.
I think we should get started onto our first story for today.
If you want to suggest something to inspire an episode, you can email us at platform.pod.show@gmail.com.
Yeah, talk to us.
Talk to us. You can comment on a Facebook post or any kind of social media interaction. You can DM us, and maybe we will use your suggestion.
Maybe.
And by maybe, I mean yes. The suggestion for today is a phrase.
I saw the phrase.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read it. I saw how big it is.
It's 4 lines long.
Okay, let's see this phrase.
The phrase is, today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. But only today. Also, the I is not capitalized.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
How extreme. How evocative.
Yeah.
Well, shall we name the episode and get started?
I think we should.
What's this story called?
Body.
Heat.
Surface.
Tension.
Body heat, surface tension.
Body heat, surface tension. That's kind of cool.
Body heat, surface tension.
This sounds like an action sports movie from the 90s, like Point Break.
Yeah, or Baywatch.
Or Baywatch. Or a third one.
All right. The third thing.
Yeah. Body heat, surface tension. Here we go. We're on the beach. We look around. People surfing through the waves. Is this about surfing? But wait. We move past the beach, onto the road. We see some street racers making their way through the city, living their life fast and hard. Is this about street racing? But wait, the camera stays behind as the racers blow through an intersection, and we see a bicycle We see a bicycle making its way through the city and responsibly so in the bike lanes that have been integrated into the sort of city to make it more economically friendly and generally accessible for those who can't afford private transportation. And is this about bicycles, you ask? No, we go even further. That we follow the bike for like 15 minutes. And you're wondering at this point how long this is going to go on for, and then finally, the bicycle stops at the base of a mountain. The camera pans over to reveal the name of the mountain with a little arrow pointing forwards to show you that you're going to enter the mountain place now. And the mountain is called Mount Heat.
Mount Heat!
Crash zoom on the cyclist's face.
It's time.
He freezes. His like
sunglasses glistening in the morning dew.
Perfectly in the morning sun, you can see the mountain reflected in his like Ray-Bans. It freezes and like action movie text flashes across the screen and it says Chaz Buzzwick, and then comma in smaller font underneath Bike Boy.
Bike Boy, Mountain Man, Ocean Woman.
Okay, wait. What's his name? Chaz
Buzzwick.
Chaz Buzzwick. Bike Boy, Ocean Man.
No. Bike Boy, Mountain Man,
Ocean Woman.
Ocean Woman. No, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
It's Bike Boy.
Yeah.
Mountain Man.
Mountain Man.
Ocean Woman.
Ocean Woman.
Horse Girl.
Horse Girl. Chaz Buzzwick. Crash zoom out to a wide of him standing awkwardly on his bike looking up at the mountain. A car drives past.
It's time to man this mountain.
Chaz Buzzwick has a tragic backstory.
You're right. When he was only 6 years old, his mother ran away to join the circus.
Yes.
And tragically, she died.
Yes.
In a freak car accident 15 minutes outside their house.
Yes. It was the clown car.
That she was going to pick her up to join the circus.
No charges were ever laid.
Because Chaz's father, he couldn't charge. He had no legs to charge with.
Yeah.
And you're probably wondering, what do you mean he had no legs to charge with? Well, it wasn't literal. I mean, every product he ever pitched, it didn't have legs.
Yeah. He never had legs in any of his sales.
I fucking hate this, all right? I fucking hate this shit. This is the worst shit I've ever said in my life. Can I take that again?
No. Okay. Improv.
Sorry, I forgot what we were doing.
This is live, remember? This is live. Oh. We don't edit these, Kevin.
I'm aware.
There's gonna be no sound effects or music.
What?
People are listening to this right now.
Oh, no.
What do you say to the people listening to this right now?
Go home.
His products didn't have legs. He was a poor businessman.
He did have legs, though.
He did have physical legs that he walked around on. But
yeah.
He was a sad man, especially after his wife was killed by clowns.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
But he never laid any charges because he was poor.
Because he was poor is where we were going with that. They had no money. What?
Chaz.
Chaz has a sister named Sputnik.
She went into space.
She went into space. She hasn't come down yet, but we're sure she's fine. This isn't about her.
It's about Chaz and his sad backstory about his mom who died.
And his father who had no money.
And his father had no money. And his sister who went up and didn't come back down.
Wait, we need to stop making this about her. Chaz spent his youth kicking rocks along the railroad tracks, stealing gum, and pissing on
public property.
Yeah. Chaz had always had a sort of touch and go relationship with the law.
Rebellious.
In that he would touch items and then not pay for them, and then he would go. To jail.
You can say that Chaz was something of a free spirit.
Yeah.
Because the only part of him that was free was his spirit. Because he physically was behind bars in jail.
Yes. And so Chaz spent his youth in and out of jail, and as such, it has morphed the way he sees the world. He sees mountains, forests, oceans.
He sees them as prisons that he must escape from.
That he must escape from. And so that is why he has come to Mount Heat.
Mount Heat.
Today.
Mount fucking Heat!
Because it is the last mountain in the Greater California district
You're
that
right.
he has yet to climb.
He can't climb it.
He can't climb it.
Because the government tells them, no, it's a sanctuary for tortoises or some shit.
Yeah.
But he doesn't care.
It's a provincial park.
It's provincial. It's a state park.
It's a state park.
It's in California.
This is the only story we've ever done that doesn't take place in Canada.
What about the one that took place in London?
You shut up.
What about the one that took place in Loch Ness?
You were shut up. There were Canadians in the London one. There'll be a Canadian character in this one, we promise.
This is a good time to mention that Chaz has dual citizenship between Canada and America.
Yeah. It was difficult considering his his laundry list of felonies.
His tragic passing of his mother.
Yeah, Chaz stands at the base of the mountain.
Here I am.
It's the early morning.
Here I am, Chaz says.
At the base of Mount Heat.
At the base of Mount Heat.
I always swore to myself that I would never learn anything.
But here I am.
From my many travels.
But here I am.
I would only do them to spite the man upstairs.
But here I am.
Here I am.
Learning that I can do this.
I know that if I climb this mountain to the very top today, I can never go back to the man I was. I'll have to change.
I'll have to change to some kind of non-binary entity.
Yeah.
Once I climb this mountain, my gender is irrevocably changed.
Yeah, shattered
shaken.
even.
Yeah, shattered and shaken like porcelain.
Splintered like wood.
It's happened before. When I've gone on a mountain, I became a man. When I went into the ocean, I became a woman. When I rode a horse, I became a girl. I'm hoping to become some kind of
rock creature.
Rock non-binary.
A golem, perhaps.
Maybe, you could say.
We'll figure it out later. What's that? He turns around.
It's a tortoise.
A tortoise is before him.
The tortoise says nothing.
It is a tortoise, but in his mind, he hears a calling, a ringing perhaps. Not words, but a feeling telling him to climb. It sounds like this. He's like, oh, that's kind of annoying and loud.
But I like it.
I like it. He starts to climb.
Makes me hard. Chaz, with one hand on the mountain, 1 foot on the mountain, one hand about to touch the mountain, and another foot about to touch the mountain, and one erect penis climbs the mountain.
He knows that he will encounter many struggles and perhaps some other wacky characters that can teach him things along the way.
Does he have to?
Yeah, no, he doesn't, but he might. The world is his oyster. It's the early morning. The day is young, and so is he. He's 21.
He's 21.
He's 21.
All of this has happened to him, and he's only 21.
He can vote, and so should you.
You should vote.
You should vote. He keeps climbing.
Chaz has made it maybe 5 centimeters up the mountain.
Yep.
He's feeling tired already. But he's going.
He takes a swig of ice-cold, refreshing Pepsi.
He stares.
Body heat surface tension is brought to you in part by Pepsi.
He stares forlorn into the camera.
If only...
I wish my mother had tasted the sweet taste of Pepsi before she died in that clown-related car accident.
It's better than Coke. It's better than Coke. I won't be broke. It's better than Coke.
Anyways, time to start climbing. He begins climbing at 2 miles per hour.
He's making good progress and keeping at pace with the turtle on his journey. Is it a tortoise? The tortoise on his journey. The tortoise continues to scream in his mind, but he's finding it comforting in a way. He comes to a crossroad. He's on a trail this whole time. He doesn't need to be climbing. He's just kind of like going up a road on all fours. Like a tortoise would. He's learning. He comes to a crossroad. There's a fork in the road. There's a sign in the middle of the fork in the road. He takes the sign with him.
He takes the fork in the road.
Oh, yeah. What is this, fucking Amelia Bedelia?
No, it's Yogi Berra.
He looks at the sign. One sign says, painful point to the right. It's pointing to the right. To the left, it says...
existential egress.
Yeah. Where should I go? On one hand, Pain is fleeting and part of life. On the other hand, existentialism has no inherent negative connotation, and so guarantees no suffering. But will I learn without suffering? Can any of us? He looks into the camera. Can you?
Without the great taste of Pepsi?
He drinks the entire bottle of Pepsi. It takes him 1 minute and 47 seconds. He decides. Painful point in it. The tortoise in his mind says nothing. It's
a tortoise.
Taking a breather.
It's taking a breather.
The screaming has stopped for now.
Yeah!
It started again. He goes to the right.
I think so.
He goes to the right. He keeps climbing.
He climbs. That is to say, he crawls on all fours along an asphalt road up the mountain.
He soon realizes why it's called Painful Point. It's because it is now 11 a.m., and he is crawling on bare hands and knees on jet black tarmac. Every part of the skin that he is touching the ground with feels like a fried egg in a bad way, not in a delicious way.
He sees a vulture
circling overhead. It smells his cooking skin.
The vulture zooms down next to him.
In his mind, it speaks.
I will eat you.
I'd like to see you try. Ow! Oh my god! He kicks the vulture. A vulture beak-shaped hole is now in his left forearm.
It's okay, because he has the great taste
of Pepsi. And also the heat of the tarmac immediately cauterized the wound, preventing him from bleeding out and losing consciousness.
The toxins within may prove cancerous in the future.
Yes. He tries to shake that knowledge off for now. As he shakes his head vehemently, clutching his arm, he comes...
Oh, no! He can't do that!
He comes to rest at the feet of a traveler. He looks up. Standing over him is a middle-aged woman.
Juilliard.
What?
That's who the middle-aged woman is.
That's her name?
Juilliard.
Juilliard. She's wearing a name tag. She's a park ranger here on Mount Heat. She says, "Hey there! Looks like you're climbing up to painful point.
Are you the man?"
"No, I'm Juilliard. Pleased to make your acquaintance." She reaches out a hand. It's covered in Band-Aids.
"I'm gonna take your hand now."
And she shakes it. "It's pleased to make you.
You want to make me?
Make your acquaintance.
Like I'm some kind of criminal? Do you know about my criminal past?"
"No, I don't. No, I'm just here to welcome you to the park. And make sure that you are not planning on stealing any of the rocks for some kind of ritual."
Ritual?
That happens a lot.
What kind of rituals are you talking about?
The kind of ritual that would turn you into a golem. Of the ground, the earth.
Like an agender golem of the earth?
Yeah. I got no problem with existing outside of the binary of sexuality and or gender, but I do have a problem with you consuming the bounty of her mother Gaia of the earth and burning rocks to become a golem. People do it all the time. It's become a fad on TikTok.
Well, what would you say if I were to, perhaps, using the great taste of Pepsi, clobber you over the side of the head with an aluminum can?
Well, the great taste of Pepsi, why did... She falls over. She rolls down the hill. "Curse you, Pepsi!"
I couldn't have done that without Pepsi.
He looks into the camera.
Violence is what Pepsi wants.
Cut to, like an office building. A CEO sits at the end of a long wooden desk. Did this test well?
Doesn't matter. He, Chaz, right?
Crashes through the window.
Climbs on the desk and jumps past the CEO. He's on all fours, clambering along the asphalt road, trying to outrun the park ranger who is recovered.
"I'll get you. Get on back here."
"No, you can't catch me. I'm a horse."
"Cool," says the CEO. Chaz climbs a tree, just
like a bear.
after rounding a corner, and the park ranger runs past him, shouting, I'm gonna put my Band-Aid on you and send you to jail.
They'll never put you in jail, Chaz. They'll never do it, ever. You won't go jail. No jail. Only Sky. Sky is not jail. You cannot have jail. Big doors can't keep you, Chaz.
Are you sure? He looks over, a woodpecker sitting next to him, speaking into his mind.
Fuck this animalism. I can't handle it.
Sometimes the sky feels like a prison to me. The thing about freedom that you never realize until it's unequivocally thrust into your grasp is that having a choice of anything can sometimes feel so overwhelming that you end up choosing nothing.
Why are you talking to me? Why can't I hear you? And why am I still so hard?
It's because you're one with the earth. It's your destiny to become one with it. You can't let that park ranger get you down. Here, take this. He gives him an egg. Gotta go. He flies away. Says Chaz.
This doesn't explain my erection. But I'll have to keep searching for answers.
Chaz clambers down the tree, like a bear. He continues on his journey. His skin has become leathery and tough. He's growing accustomed to the ways of this mountain. He's learning.
He's learning.
He's growing.
He's losing his gender.
He almost feels like he could be 22. Taylor Swift smiles and nods wherever she is. He keeps climbing.
He climbs. He finds there a rope on the side of the mountain left behind by another traveler.
He picks it up.
He disregards it and then proceeds to clamber up the harsh rock face like a goat.
After chewing on the rope and deciding it has no value, he throws it into the underbrush. His scream alerts the park ranger.
Oh.
She starts climbing after him. This is the Princess Bride now.
He climbs.
It's that super wide shot of this massive cliff face with these two small figures chasing each other off the rock face with that weirdly sinister music. I
love the Princess Bride.
It's a classic film.
Who said that?
He looks over. A gopher is hanging off the cliff face. Hello. I'm a gopher.
He falls off the cliff face. Chaz doesn't have time to ruminate on what that might have been.
The gopher hits the park ranger in the face. Oh! She says.
That he doesn't have time to ruminate on what that might mean for his spirit journey. He must meet to the top of Heat Mountain. And so he finds a cave and scuttles inside as if he were a scarab. As he scuttles, he makes a noise to alert any predators who might be inside of the rock face cave.
A rattlesnake slithers out from beneath his feet, saying, "Whoa, hey, I didn't know it was cave inspection." It immediately falls out of the cave and hits the park ranger.
She screams.
She keeps climbing past the cave entrance. He's safe for now.
He's inside the cave. It's suddenly nightfall.
He looks around. He's surrounded by glittering luminescent jewels.
He touches one.
He feels the power of the earth coursing through his veins.
His veins or their veins?
He feels one aspect of his gender float away.
He is now he, they.
He emerges from the cave. He climbs the rest of the cliff. He feels that one step closer. He gets a sense that he is perhaps approximately 2/3, if not slightly more, of the way through his journey.
Are you sure about that?
Yep, pretty sure.
Are you positive?
Yep.
An eagle flies down. The eagle
lands on his arm.
What insight do you have, eagle?
It's just a normal eagle.
It claws at him and attempts to devour his flesh.
Ow, god damn it!
He screams.
He has no hot tarmac to cauterize his wounds on.
And so he simply
spits in it.
I
heard this helps on Google. Chaz suddenly feels weak. Perhaps
an infection?
Perhaps an infection. Perhaps cancer. Setting in sooner than I thought.
I'm gonna have to climb even harder. Chaz begins to climb even harder.
But he feels his
immediately
strength.
falls asleep.
He falls into a deep slumber. He wakes up. 15 minutes later, his strength has left him. He feels like this is perhaps the low point in his journey. He rolls over onto his back and looks up into the stars. He thinks
What could I have done differently?
He thinks about a lot of things in his life. He thinks about how he never knew his mother. He thinks about how he doesn't even know himself. He thinks about why he's doing this.
He thinks about that $6,000 scholarship to
Point Pleasant University.
that he didn't accept because it was too sell out to accept that.
Yeah. He thinks about what he could have accomplished by this point if he had just gotten started instead of being afraid to try. He thinks about all the mountains he's climbed. He wonders if those memories are worth more than actual real-world experience.
He concludes yes. He moves on to the next thought.
He stands up. He rubs dirt on his face. He feels refreshed. Like a cool drink of water.
Or Pepsi.
Pepsi?
He sees a can of Pepsi.
It emerges from the ground, as if on a small elevator.
He grabs it in his hands and opens it.
His shaking hypoglycemic body almost shutting down until the cold, refreshing
liquid of Pepsi
brushes across his parched tongue.
The Pepsi dribbles down his chest, causing it to become sticky. He drinks the Pepsi. It lasts for 5 minutes.
As he feels the stickiness coat his entire body, he rolls around in the earth, becoming coated in earth, pebbles, rocks. He feels a second skin beginning to form and coagulate.
He hears a wolf howl in the distance, and he responds, "Oh!"
The wolf runs away. It doesn't know.
"Oh!" He screams. He finds a tree, grabs it, and squeezes it.
Sap comes out.
He licks the sap. It tastes like Pepsi.
Tastes like home.
Tastes like where I need to be. Chaz screams.
The CEO is standing next to him, sitting around a small bonfire that he's made for warmth. The CEO gazes upon him and says, "Perhaps we've gone too far." Chaz disregards him, and he knows he's almost at the top of the mountain.
He starts moving on all fours,
bounding
forward
with a renewed strength provided to him by the Pepsi Corporation.
He bounds and bounds forward like a horrid deer. He slams into the side of a pile of dirt, and his body is covered even further with dirt.
He feels the rock face shift and tremble. He feels that perhaps a landslide is looming on the horizon. He continues to ram and wedge his way through rock faces and cliffs and gullies until finally the very precipice, the top of the mountain is within his field of view, and then suddenly before him, the park ranger. Her sleeves ripped off, revealing even more band-aids. Her jeans ripped into jorts, covered in mud, dirt, and debris. A slash on her cheek. She thinks it's going to be a pretty badass scar later. She did it herself. She didn't get hurt. She just thought it would be cool. Juilliard stands in front of him holding a torch. Illuminating
He's afraid of this strange phenomenon.
He fears the power of fire that Juilliard now wields. You'll never burn the rocks and complete the ritual, she says. Not as long as I possess the power of fire.
Chaz screams. He's immobile by fear.
They circle each other like wolves. The stars burn bright in the heavens, illuminating the night sky. The moon, in all her splendid, pleasant glory, shines down, round, ever seeing.
Like a spotlight.
Like a spotlight shining on the two of them. Suddenly there's quiet. Only their crunching footfalls
And
no wind, no crickets, no bugs.
But there is also the bubbling fizz of Pepsi in the background, ever
Burning,
present.
burning within Chaz's stomach. It's the only thing he's eaten or drank for weeks.
Chaz!
This just in from Pepsi. It's the manna of life, and you don't need to drink or eat anything else.
Chaz looks up, he understands what he must do via the Pepsi Corporation.
The CEO peeks out from behind a tree, smiles, and nods. He knows what's about to happen.
Chaz projectile vomits onto her face, blinding her and causing acid burns due to the caustic nature of his stomach acid.
Mixed with the sweet and perfect recipe of Pepsi, which you will never have the privilege of knowing.
He leaps at her and begins devouring her face.
She drops the torch.
It lights the underbrush. The mountain is on fire.
Ablaze. Chaz seizes his opportunity and finds 5 rocks of equal proportion and mass. He arranges them in a star formation.
No, not a star formation. A circle with a
Like-
wave in it.
Like the perfect
Pepsi.
logo of Pepsi.
Chaz takes it.
Wreathed in flame.
He removes his clothes. His erection still prominent.
The tip of it alights like the torch of Paris.
Oh! Chaz screeches, his words echoing like the vibrations of the particles in all life. He is amber liquid, and he is dropped deep into the bowels of Pepsi.
He feels the sugary outer shell mixing with the rocks he has covered himself in. He feels his nude form become bare and one with nature, and he feels the rock fuse into hide, into armor,
Into aluminum!
He feels his very skin become the most perfect of metals.
A cylinder!
A cylinder
With a sealed tab!
He finally feels at peace. A monolith to corporate Pepsi.
The mountain is returned once again to its truest form.
It is charred of all that is living, all that is natural, all that is not Pepsi.
Pepsi has become this mountain, and thus the CEO looks on and weeps.
Juilliard stands up, her face gone.
Her face gone. Nothing more than muscle, sinew, and bone.
She silently reaches up and applies a singular band-aid to where both of her eyebrows used to be. She can finally emote properly. She raises her band-aid eyebrows and says,
I prefer Coke.
The moonlight shines upon Chaz's metallic, perfect, flawless, smooth form.
He is 100 feet tall and 8 million liters.
He feels the heat of his body forever gone, replaced with a cool sensation.
Only one thought courses through their brain as they have now become
perfectly non-binary. An idol to neutrality in all things but capitalism. Today, I consider myself to be the luckiest
person on the face of the earth.
And the moon sets on a wonderful, beautiful, natural can of Pepsi.
So?
What do you think? Says Chaz's dad in the corporate office. In the head of PepsiCo. The CEO.
Pretty good, right?
The CEO steeples his fingers from across the long mahogany table.
In the distance, there is Chaz, the perfect Pepsi in the arid California desert.
The CEO looks up, his eyes dark. He looks deep into the eyes of Chaz's father and says, "Print it." Yay! Well, any notes? I think it was perfect. I think that's the best improv anyone's ever done.
Yeah, maybe we could like. I think like something that we might be able to do is like we might be able to like kind of weave a bit more like structure into our story. Yeah, like I don't know if you ever try to do that, but like I always try to like come up with some like to make sure that everything makes sense when things come.
Definitely, yeah. Everything sort of gets tied up and sort of comes to like a narrative point based on like the suggestions that you made earlier, and that way it's satisfying for the audience when all of these things get called back. All of the offers that you made initially are resolved, and a lot of like the tension that arose all comes together in sort of a neat, satisfying way.
And it all makes sense and could be believable.
Yeah. Could happen in real life. I think that's what makes the best stories, and I think that's what we did today.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, thank you so much for listening.
Wait, what about the moral?
Oh, the moral. What is the moral of this story?
I think the moral of this story is that if you feel as though you are not who you should be, like you're not who you should be truly, you need only to drink Pepsi.
And you will feel better.
You'll feel better.
Yeah.
Or you might be gay.
One of those two. Well, thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Listen, I need you to be safe, to be lovely,
to drink Pepsi.
And we will see you next time.
See you on the next time, everybody. See you next time. A can hisses in the moonlight, and bubbles burst forth from the caramel ichor of life itself. Pepsi's gross.